Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Blue Eyes White Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for November 2025. Wanted to update the Blue Eyes deck. Never got around to updating it with the new support we received from Duelist Advance with the Kaiba Man, the Legend. So wanted to update it with the available cards and also go for more of a pure variant of the deck without the Primate engine. If you want to run the Primate engine, you can always swap out some of the cards in the deck that we're running for additional cards for the Primate engine, including Lordly Load, Ether Barrel, and then the Drill Beam. But a lot of times with the deck, I know a lot of the fans of the channel just prefer the pure variant of the deck. And with us just recently making the Genesis version of the deck, want to make a version that focuses on some of the different extra deck changes, being able to go more hand trap heavy, and then also run the Link monsters, obviously, in the extra deck as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the monsters, we're running 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is for the fact that we do run Kaiba Man the Legend. So we have to reveal 3 Blue Eyes for Kaiba Man the Legend. So we need to run 3 to be able to properly use this card effect. So just our go-to boss monster in the deck, whether it be for our fusions, synchros, link monsters, you name it. This card always comes in handy with its setup, whether it be with True Light or any of the other special summon options we have in the deck, including our Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. With 3 of this card, it also gives us access to some other potential fusion plays, especially with the Ultimate Fusion lineup still being a card to go into plenty of other fusion plays as well. Our other 3 ofs in the deck include 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. In its normal summon, you can add 1 level 1 Light Tuner from your deck to your hand, except for Sage with Eyes of Blue. You can discard this card to target an effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can use this effect of Blue Eyes Sage once per turn. So this card's good for the setup if we already have, let's say, Maiden of White in our hand. It can give us the additional search option for other hand traps like Effect Veiler, being able to add the level 1 Spellcaster off of Sage with Eyes of Blue, and then have the immediate summon of being able to go into Spirit with Eyes of Blue after summoning this monster onto the field also. The other 3 ofs are the 3 copies of Maiden of White. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. And if you special summon Blue Eyes while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. And when a card effect is activated that targets a card on the field when this card's target for an attack, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes or 1 level 1 Light Tuner from your graveyard, giving you back those resources to use as well, thanks to Maiden of White, being able to just be that resource to then use to go into your many different synchro plays. And then the new monster in the deck is Kaiba Man the Legend, being a level 1 Warrior Tuner. When it's normal or special summon, you can show 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or face on the field and graveyard. Special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. If you special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card's in the graveyard, you can banish this card to add 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck to your hand. You can use this effect of Kaiba Man the Legend once per turn, but more search power on top of this card, because you can also search this card with Sage with Eyes of Blue, giving you that search to then have the additional normal summon of Kaiba Man the Legend and give you another Blue Eyes off of this card as well. But once again, we run 3 Blue Eyes because you have to reveal 3 Blue Eyes with Kaiba Man the Legend. This card could potentially even be a 1-of, since it's searchable off of cards with Sage with Eyes of Blue. But if you want to, it'd be more for going into more of the Primate engine and not relying on more of the pure engine that we're trying to go for in the deck. With that pure engine, we're also running the 2 copies of Neo Kaiser Seahorse, another card that can potentially be the material to go into cards with Spirit of Eyes of Blue, or using the level 12 option with this card, as well to adjust tuners on the field to then be able to use this card and Blue Eyes to summon out Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon without relying on Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon for the summon of the card. And then our other main deck monsters include the 1 Magnamut, the 1 Druis Worm, and the 1 Saronir, more of a dragon engine, which can also be used to go into some of our Link monsters in the extra deck, but also disrupt our opponent's plays in the graveyard, which a lot of these cards in the deck are also meant to combat the current meta, with Yummy being a big part of it, using the Bysteel monsters as interruption by targeting those cards your opponent may have in their graveyard as well. With the rest of the hand traps being the 3 copies of Effect Veiler. It's a very useful searchable hand trap in the deck, so that's why we're running 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and then lastly running 3 copies of Molcharmy Perulia, since once again going up against the current meta, being able to summon so many Yummy monsters from their hand, you can use Perulia, so every time they summon one from their hand, you get a draw off of this card also. And then for the spells, 3 copies of Wishes for Eyes of Blue, being able to discard 1 card to add a level 1 Light Tuner and 1 Spar Trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. So it's another spell that can add Kaiba the Legend to your hand if need be. And then having the equip option to then equip a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon from your X deck to a Blue Eyes, to then tribute to summon out your Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon from the X deck to the field also, with the rest of these spells being 1-ups, 1 Ultimate Fusion, 1 Mausoleum of White, and 1 Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, searchable off of Wishes, Mausoleum, searchable off the Link monster, and then the same setup for the fusion play using Ultimate Fusion as well. The one card I don't have in the deck is Dragon Master Magia. If you wanted to run it, you could just drop one of the Synchro monsters we run for a copy of that fusion, or take out the Blue Eyes Twin Burst that we're running in the extra deck for that spot for Dragon Master Magia as well. With the other spells being just some 1-ups, the 1 triple Tactics Thrust, the 1 triple Tactics Talent, along with the 1 Call by the Grave, and the 1 Crossout Designator, having plenty of hand trap spots in the deck to target with this spell as well in the deck, with our traps being the 1 True Light and the 1 Majesty of the White Dragon's Destruction Power on top of the setup for special summoning with True Light off of our Maiden of White, being able to also set up this card and then initiate the majority of our plays in the deck. And then the last spot just being our hand traps that we use additionally on top of the monster count being Infinite Impermanence. You also have the target with Crossout Designator with this card, but then the monster lamp that we run for the hand trap count as well to use in the deck. And then if you wanted to run the actual Primite engine, I could say you can move around some of the cards to hit that engine by either taking out a hand trap spot and then the additional lineup being the Bysteel engine, and then mixing around the Neo Kaiser Seahorse and Kaiba the Legend play. So then you can mix around your Drill Bean setup with the Ether Barrels and the Proud Lordly Load for the spots for cards you may want to remove to run those cards in the deck also. For the extra deck, 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. You cannot special summon except dragon monsters. You can only use the following effects of Spirit with Eyes of Blue once per turn. If it's Link Summon, you can take 1 Mausoleum of White from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. And you can tribute this card to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. But if the special summon by the effect of a monster in your graveyard, it cannot attack and its effects are negated. But still, it can just help to give you back your resource if you haven't used the True Light yet, which True Light can also be used to set up the card. So if you use the special summon of Spirit with Eyes of Blue, you can then save the True Light to set up other cards like Setting, Wishes for Eyes of Blue on your field for them to be able to activate. And then the other Link monster just being the 1 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres as another dragon target to go into, needing 2 dragon monsters. So we can use our Blue Eyes monsters or our Bysteel engine to go into this card and then have a bounce and special summon effect on our opponent's turn also. For the Synchros, 2 copies of Spirit Dragon. With this card could be a 3rd of copy. Once again, you can drop down the Blue Eyes Twin Burst to a 0 count and put in a 3rd copy of that card if you wish for this spot. Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit to summon off of it, along with Lightstorm Dragon and Ancient Fairy Dragon for the other targets to be able to summon out of the tribute of Blue Eyes Spirit. And then the 1 Dispatter, along with the 1 Crimson Dragon and the 1 Cosmic Blazer Dragon for the additional summon off of Crimson Dragon using these cards, with our fusion monsters being the 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst, which once again, this could be Dragon Master Magia if you wish to run this spot, the 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which once again Kaiba Man can set up for our fusion play there, and then the 1 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon to use after we equip Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate and then tribute Blue Eyes to then summon out this card that is unaffected by traps and then can swing multiple times into your opponent's monsters as well on the field. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, the reveal for the setup with Kaiba Man can help with any additional summon that we go for as well. For the summon and setup for our cards, including the Mausoleum of the Emperor play, as well, being able to normal summon 1 level 1 light monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So the initial play starts with Sage with Eyes of Blue, having the search for Kaiba Man the Legend off of this card, and then being able to go for the Link 1 play with Sage, summoning out our Spirit with Eyes of Blue, using it to search out our Mausoleum, activating Mausoleum, targeting our Spirit to then send a Blue Eyes to the graveyard. Having the additional normal summon, we can then summon out Kaiba Man the Legend. When it's normal summon, you can show 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard to special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So you have the 1 in the graveyard, the 1 in the 2 in the deck, giving you the special summon of another additional monster from your deck as well for that Blue Eyes, and then being able to have just 1 additional Blue Eyes to go for summoning all of them from the deck. But you do have the tribute of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon targeting the Blue Eyes in the graveyard graveyard to then give you the 2 needed on the field. So from there, you're just 1 off for these cards, which if you have cards like Maiden with Eyes of Blue, you're just the send and search of the True Light setup for this card as well, which then can also be used to set up your Wishes for Eyes of Blue to add the additional tuner monster that we want for this play on top of the additional setup for the 1 more Blue Eyes monster. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, just wanted to update the deck since I made an update for Genesis format. I wanted to update the actual deck for standard format as well with the pure variant of the Blue Eyes deck that we can go for. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.